Hi everyone, welcome to Moonbeam's Messages. This is a collective reading today that is for Sun, Moon and Risings. If it doesn't resonate with yourself, then please take what resonates with you and leave the rest for someone else. I hope you like your messages today. If you do, please like and subscribe to the channel and you'll get updates every time that I put new content on the channel. Okay, let's get into the reading. Hi, this is a reading for Libra. I did try doing this one yesterday. Unfortunately, I hadn't realised that my microphone had died. So what we're doing today is we are going to do a self-reflection reading for the collective of Libra. Now, every now and then we all get a bit stuck and we all need a bit of guidance, a little bit of advice on what we might need to reflect on. So the idea of this reading is to help any of you Libras that may be feeling a little bit stuck and looking to work out what it is that you need to reflect on to try and improve, yourself. See what soul searching you might need to do. Obviously, some of you have probably got a good idea, but this is to help those of you that might be feeling a little bit stuck from that. Okay. Now it won't resonate for everybody. Today is the 16th of June. No, 16th of May. I'm a month ahead of myself. So whenever it hits your feed is when it could be relevant for yourself. It's likely to be your past, present and future all mixed in, because it's about self-reflection. Okay. So Spirit, can we get some cards to help Libra with their self-reflection journey? I'm just going to change the colour of this lamp a little bit because it's a bit garish and blurry in my eyes. There we go. Prefer it nice and soft and yellow to bright white. I'm a little bit weird like that, but hey ho, we've all got our preferences. Okay, so okay, so the underlying energy of the read is the Seven of Pentacles, and that is in reverse. Okay, so that suggests that currently you are reevaluating life itself, or you're just reevaluating where you are, where you've been investing your time and your energy. You look at the pentacles as being like seeds. You're basically deciding, have you been planting them in the right place, and making a decision on whether or not it's time to. Is it time to plant them somewhere else, or are you just going to carry on? So that's the overall energy of basically reflecting on what you've already planted, and you're just feeling like you could be a bit impatient for the results of that. So in the first position, we have got how's your inner talk, your self-talk affecting how you think. So your self-talk is the Death card. Okay, now that doesn't have to be a bad thing. It just literally means that something's coming to an end. Generally, when it is the Death card, it's usually something. It's like it could be somebody's passed away. It's unlikely to be because it's your inner voice. What it normally is it's something you might be talking to yourself, that saying that you've lost something potentially, or that something's coming to an end. That something needs to be released, something needs to be renewed. You need to start from scratch, and that's potentially what that Death card say. What your inner voice is saying, which is highly likely to do with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, because it's suggesting that something needs to come to an end, or something has come to an end, and you're basically trying to convince yourself of that. Okay, now we are going to pull clarifiers on these as well. Now, in the position of what are you hiding from yourself, out of shame or fear? So basically, what are you scared of? What are you fearful of? You've got the Five of Cups. Okay, and that is in the upright as well. Now, that Five of Cups suggests that you are feeling a little bit regretful So it's like you're hiding your own regrets, you're hiding your own disappointments as such. Potentially you're ashamed of those disappointments. You might be fearful of those disappointments, but it's usually because of a loss. So it could be something where you might be, you know, you might be sad because you've done something, or you might be ashamed or fearing that you're going to be sad about something. So if it's a case of you've left a person or a job, for instance, you might be ashamed of how it ended. You might be scared that it's going to end. You might be scared of the unknown that comes after something ends. You might be just scared of striving forward and restarting something, or starting something fresh. So that just suggests that you have got potentially a bit of shame or a bit of fear behind either ending something or starting something potentially. Now, in what can help you, you have got the Temperance card. Okay, now the Temperance card is a card of healing and balance and harmony and rejuvenation. So that would suggest that you do have some healing that you need to do. So whether this is within a relationship, whether it's just yourself, whether you need to do some balancing within yourself, whether this is a workplace situation where you might need to temper some, but if you're having conflict with co-workers as such, you might need to try and temper the conflict, maybe try and come to some sort of compromise. But yeah, so that's literally rejuvenation. So it could be that you might need to start fresh. You might need to look at things with a fresh perspective. It is also suggesting recovery. So if you've been through some sort of period of, ill health, you might need to look after yourself. I mean, it could suggest potentially that you might be feeling a bit down, especially if you're talking to yourself and telling you that things have come to an end and you're feeling sad and, and sorrowful about that. You're going to need to take time out for yourself to heal and rebalance yourself. Now, in the position of what do you need to let go of, okay, we have the Eight of Swords in the upright. Now, that Eight of Swords is you feeling trapped, okay. Now, it doesn't mean that you are trapped, but it does suggest that you feel trapped and you feel restricted, and that you feel like you're stuck. Usually in the traditional tarot, you've got a woman that's tied up and bound, her eyes covered, and she's got swords all around her. So that is what that card is representing. It is representing the fact that you might be feeling very stuck, and you might be feeling very trapped and bound in whatever situation you're in. If it's something where you've come out of a relationship, you might be feeling stuck, in that in-between phase of what do you need, what do you do? If it's something where you finished a job, you might be feeling stuck because it might be hard to get a new job, for instance. What this is suggesting is just let it go. I know that's harder to do than it sounds, but let the universe guide you. Just, take it that it was meant to be that way. Go with the flow, and let the universe guide. Because at the end of the day, if something has come to an end, it's come to an end for a reason. And you'll find that reason out at some point. It's not always going to be clear cut. It's not always going to be out there straight away. But it is something where you will eventually find out why it's come to an end. And usually it is for your own good as well. Okay. Now, what we're expecting you to embrace is this Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Now, the Knight of Pentacles, when it's in the upright, is somebody that's very reliable and makes a lot of plans. But when he's in reverse, he's somebody that takes a lot of shortcuts, can be a bit stubborn, and just carries on regardless of what the outcome is. So Spirit is suggesting that is what you need to embrace. Just cracking on, just go with the flow. Don't bother, what's going to happen or Or, you know, if you upset somebody, you upset someone, don't worry about it. You need to just get on with things. You need to eat step by step. I mean, he is slow, the Knight of Pentacles, or she's slow. She's not currently on her motorbike. She's got off of it. She's not moving anywhere, you know. So it is something where it's just step by step and bit by bit, but just cracking on with it and just, you know, going where you need to and not worrying about what other people have to say about it. Okay, so we're going to get some clarifiers on these as well to see if we can dive in a little bit more. So, Spirit, can you please clarify this death card for us? Okay, so the Ten of Wands. Okay, so the death card is saying, so something has been a massive burden on your shoulders. Okay, and what that death card is saying is basically that burden has come to an end. You need to put it down. You need to walk away from it. Okay, and if you're not going to put it down and walk away from it, ask for some help. You don't need to shoulder all the burden on your own. You know, it is literally a case of you could put some sticks down and you could pick some, you know, take some and then come back for others. You don't have to do everything all at once. And the death card is saying that that needs to stop. That needs to end. Okay. That is what you're telling yourself, that whatever it is that is causing you a heavy burden needs to stop or is stopping. And potentially that Seven of Pentacles is you know, looking at that burden and thinking, when's it going to change? You know, when are all the things that I've been planting gonna start coming to fruition? When's it going to change? So if it's a work situation, for instance, you know, you might be somebody that gets taken for granted at work, and you might be somebody that has to, you know, you might be the person that has to do everything for the team, and you're basically taken advantage of, and you've got that burden of carrying your whole team on your back. You know, you're in your head, you're saying to yourself, look, this isn't sustainable. It's got to change. You know, this needs to end now, kind of thing. But yeah, if it's a relationship, you might be somebody that's been putting into that relationship, and you might be feeling that it's a bit one-sided. And again, you might be sitting there thinking, this has got to change. It doesn't have to be work or a relationship. It could even be a family situation. Maybe you're somebody that puts a lot of time and care. Maybe you care for your parents, for instance, but you might have siblings that don't help, or you might not feel appreciated, but you're carrying that constant burden. And inside, you're just saying, look, you know, enough's enough. And that's what you're saying to yourself. Now, clarify that Five of Cups for me. Okay, so you've got the Magician in there. So whatever it is that you're scared of feeling lost for, you manifested it, or you're manifesting it. So you need to be careful with that, because you don't want to manifest negative stuff. Okay. The Magician there is somebody that will make miracles happen. So if you are absolutely scared or fearful of, you know, something happening, it's going to happen. If you think about it too much, it's going to happen. So you need to be really mindful of that. Okay. Because yeah, he is the master manifester. Now, he is also somebody that is good at manipulating, and is quite deceptive and can be quite powerful. So it could be very much that you might be feeling like you've done something, and you might be a little bit sorrowful that it's happened, and you might be feeling a bit ashamed because you've done something to cause this burden. It could just be that you're fearful that the burden is not going to go well, and you're going to, you know, you're going to be left out, and you're going to be feeling sad. But at the end of the day, if you keep on dwelling on it, you are going to manifest it happening, even if you don't mean it to. Okay. Spirit, can we get some clarification on this Temperance card, please? Because it's all right saying what can you do to heal and then have heal. Let's see what it is that we can, if it comes up with another Temperance card, you know, I don't know what else to suggest. Let's see if we can get some clarification on this Temperance card. I'll pull them until we can get something of use. Okay. So we've got the Ace of Cups. Okay, so it is suggesting that you find balance and find a new start. Now, the Ace of Cups could be a friendship, it could be a partnership, it could be just a cup of love, it could be anything to do with emotions, but it is suggesting that you look at restarting and heal your cup potentially. So maybe it's something where this burden has emptied out your cup as such. I mean, I put it as a way of, we've all got a lot of love to give. We all have a big cup to give, and we all give out and give out and give out. And if you've got that many people that are just around you taking constantly, then, that cup just gets emptied and emptied and emptied. And in the end, you've got nothing. I mean, I've got a child, and I don't call it an empty cup, I call it a bowl of jelly beans. And, it helps a kid recognise it. You keep giving out your jelly beans and nobody gives you jelly beans back. And then you've got no jelly beans at the end of the day until you go and get yourself some more by, looking after yourself. This is suggesting that you need to look after your emotions. Potentially, you might need to have a bit of empathy for other people. So that's probably potentially what this is suggesting, that you need to consider others within your healing, strike that balance, strike some harmony. Having empathy is usually when you relate to somebody's feelings. So if it's something where you don't normally relate to them, and that could be causing part of your burden, maybe that's why you're feeling a bit ashamed about something. Why you could be feeling, if you've manifested or you've caused something to happen and you're feeling shameful about it and upset, then, feeling somebody or recognizing somebody else's pain and knowing or just empathizing with them and understanding how they're feeling can bring a massive lot of balance and harmony. Okay, because if you just, if you invalidate somebody's feelings, then they're just going to think that you're careless and you're horrible, and you need to learn to validate people's feelings, because at the end of the day, people have got valid feelings the same as you have. And if it's something where you turn around and you call them a hypocrite, or you tell them that they're a hypochondriac, etc., whatever it could be, you could be invalidating their feelings and making them feel like they're not worth anything, or they could just be looking at you as you're cruel potentially. But that is suggesting that that you embrace some sort of new start, embrace empathy, potentially, and that help bring yourself some balance and some harmony to yourself. So I mean, it could be where you might be feeling very emotional as well, and it just suggests balancing out your emotions, having emotional care as such. So it might be something where you might need to seek advice from a professional potentially. Talk to your friends, family members out there, and speak with them to help support you through any emotional states that you're going through. But it does suggest that you do need to start afresh, to help you heal. Spirit, can we get some clarification on this Eight of Swords and why Libra needs to release being trapped or feeling stuck? Okay, so we've got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So that is suggesting that you want happiness. Okay, you want to be independent. You want to be successful. This is suggesting that, you've potentially turned your back on that. You've lost some security. You may have turned your back on family, on a job, for instance, on particular behaviours that you may have had if you were single previously. I mean, it could very well be that you may be manifesting a new love, for instance. You could be somebody that's single and a bit of a, just putting it out, this could be somebody's situation. You might be somebody that has been a bit wishy-washy, in and out, not ready to settle down. And all of a sudden you've hit that point where you're like, actually, being single, being a bachelor, bachelorette, it's draining on you. It's too much of a burden. You don't want to do it on your own. So you're starting to manifest something, but you might be feeling guilty that what you're going to leave behind is what you wanted. But at the same time, you could be fearful that it's not going to work and you'll get abandoned, and it's not going to happen very well. But you're manifesting, and what you could be manifesting is this new love, which is going to help you heal and balance yourself. And what you need to let go of is the bachelor life and being stuck, because you're kind of stuck going nowhere as such, because you might just be spending all your money. You might be, you might not be very successful. But yeah, so I mean that could resonate for some of you. For others, like I say, it could be a job that you need to let go of. It could be a relationship that you need to let go of, where you're feeling stuck or bound. I'm not telling you to go and end things. It is just what the cards are saying. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to end it as such. It could just mean that you need to end a perspective that you're looking at it from. So if, for instance, you are feeling, let's say it's a job at work, you've been doing the same job for ages, you don't feel like you're getting any recognition for it, and you are feeling a bit stuck, ask if there's progression. Ask if you can learn something new. If they say no, okay, start, then all you can do is look for a new job if if nothing goes that way. But if you don't ask, you don't know, do you? If it's something where, if it's a relationship, you might be feeling a bit bored, a bit stuck, a bit, mix it up a bit. Try something different. Try, if you don't go out very often, try something new. If you're somebody that's constantly paying for things, suggest that your partner takes you out somewhere nice. Or if they're worried about money, suggest something as a low cost but then treat you kind of thing. It could be anything, but it is suggesting that you do let go of potentially some sort of, like I say, it's a loss of security, or a family, or a behavior as such. So yeah, it's suggesting that something needs to come to an end. Okay. And of that nature, which, let's face it, that could be anything. But you do need to, whatever is making you feel stuck, you need to release it, or release a mindset and a behavior behind it. Okay, now that Knight of Pentacles in reverse, of what you need to embrace, is clarified by the Seven of Swords in reverse as well. Okay, so the Seven of Swords, when it's in the upright, is the liar, cheater, stealer card. When it's in reverse, it suggests that you might have been caught in the act and that you need to lay your cards out on the table. So this is also suggesting that you embrace honesty. Okay, and that you embrace making fair deals. So not only is the Knight of Pentacles telling you to, go your own way, don't worry about things, don't worry about other people, it is, we've got the Seven of Swords telling you to embrace honesty and disclosure. So if it's something where you might have upset somebody, and you need to go your own way, it's basically telling you to be honest about it. Be honest and be clear. Even if it's being honest with yourself, it doesn't mean if you've done something that is going to hurt someone. I mean, at the end of the day, you're not the person to judge whether or not you should tell that person. That is their decision. Yes, it might not hurt you for them to not know, and it might hurt them if they do know, but it's not your place to say whether or not they should know something, especially if it's something that would involve them. I mean, yeah, I'm obviously not telling you to go and confess all your sins or anything like that, but it could just be that you've done something to yourself and you need to embrace honesty to yourself. So if it's like you've been feeling stuck and you need to release something, if it's a behaviour, you need to be honest about what behaviour it is you need to release, because it might be something it might very well be that you're doing something to yourself that you might have negative thought patterns, you might have something, you might be self-sabotaging, but not realising that you're self-sabotaging as such. So it could be any number of things. It could be something as simple as you don't talk enough, you don't communicate what you want, and this is telling you to realise that, and think, why don't you talk enough? Why is it that you blame other people for things that happen? And stop lying to yourself about it. Yes, move forward without worrying about what other people are thinking, but you need to realise, you need to think about why you're doing that and be honest with yourself on why you're doing that. I mean, it could be something where if you've done something to other people, or if you've done something at work, you might have to disclose that as well, potentially. Obviously, it depends on what it is, and it's completely your choice on what you are disclosing. But yeah, I would take this as being more honest with yourself. Okay. Right, so I'm also going to pull some Moonology cards. Spirit, can we get some Moonology cards for Libra, please, to help with self-reflection? That was the worst shuffle in the world. And another really bad shuffle. Crikey. Spirit, please give us a Moonology card for Libra. So we've got adjustments are required. Okay. It's time to take action. So that'll be that Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, jumping in. Conclusions are within reach. Okay. And we also have, you are very close to achieving your goal. And underneath, balance, spirituality and practicality. So that'd be that Temperance card as well. Okay. So it's finding balance within yourself to give yourself some harmony. But yeah, so this is suggesting, again, along with all of those, adjustments are required. Potentially embrace your own inner truths. Know why you're doing something, and if you don't know why you're doing something, think about it and understand your truths on why you do something in a certain way. Okay. But yeah, so you're close to getting what you want, and it's time to take that action, and the conclusions are within reach. That means that you'll get your desired outcome. Or, well, not necessarily your desired outcome, but there will be an outcome. Okay, we're also going to pull a Kitchen Witch Oracle card as well. So these are pretty much just herbs. Now the idea of these is the message that comes with it that may be more helpful. But you could potentially eat the herb. Obviously not if it's poisonous, but lotions, things like that. Sometimes it gives you gives a nice little recipe or whatever in the guidebook, but I'll only mention it if it's something nice and quick, and I don't have to give you loads of instructions on how to create something. Right, so we've got Yarrow, Expulsion. Okay, where's my little book? So I don't know all the meanings behind these, unfortunately, but let's get you the meaning behind Yarrow. Okay. So put your boundaries in place and expel anything that is preventing you from being at your magical best. So that's potentially letting go what's keeping you stuck. Richly endowed with spiritual properties, I've been preserved in temples and treated with reverence for my ability to influence the lifeblood and one's essence that is carried through the blood itself. As an amulet, I will protect you against evil, for my power is capable of overcoming the forces of darkness. I will safeguard you from the toxic behavior of others. Keep in mind that I intensify the work of other herbs and increase their essential oil content. Do not be fooled by my pretty lace features, or I'll make you sweat and break fever and have the power to ostracize congestion, bruises, arthritis, and measles. Plant me next to your threshold for me to deport fearsome spirits, eject any poisonous plants that infect your herb garden, and banish any other toxins that creep into your life. So this is suggesting that potentially you might have people with toxic behaviour in your energies that you need to dispel, or potentially you might have some negative energy that might need dispelling as well. So that could potentially be why you might need to embrace some truths. Obviously that 10 of Wands at the start, what the death card is trying to get rid of is, you know, things that are a burden. So that could be people's toxic behaviors as well. Right, well, I hope that has helped some of you Libras out there on any self-reflection journeys that you may be on. Good luck, and thank you for joining me today.